beloved Ascension pioneers. I wanted to make a short video today about synchronicity, which is basically spirit in action. How sometimes things happen, and sometimes even the way we feel that we don't have control, but they kind of guide us in the right direction. Sometimes it even feels like there's this push, or that something's being taken away from you. And it's basically not like that, because everything is a blessing in disguise. And just yesterday, before going to bed, I pulled that card out. And not just that, I want to explain a few my own examples to how we see these synchronicities. For instance, when I talk to certain members of my family of light, and I just say something and they say something the same, and we just feel we're attuned to the same energy field, and we feel the same things. And oftentimes something happens that is like a complete twilight zone. For instance, when I explain about my number 27 and how I keep seeing it like in the most unusual ways possible. Today I was checking out a video reading, and I saw the video had 27 views, and then I saw another video from that person, and that video again had 27 views. I'm like, okay, again, my beautiful 27. And I keep downloading a lot of the ringtones in my ear, just keeps ringing, every day, every night, keeps the ears keep buzzing. And just today I got this card, listen, angelic card, listen. And it means that we are really attuning to that higher listening, not just what we hear through sounds and other people saying to us, but every listening is also listening from the heart. That is why I wanted to explain a few synchronicities to all of you, so that you can better attune to see how they happen in your own life. For instance, I woke up today. I wanted to, each day I wake up, I have a few oracle decks, quite a lot. I don't have all, because the people who do oracle readings for others have more cards. Basically they're just for me, or sometimes when I do in-person readings and writing. I was just doing a reading for a Sister of Light yesterday, and just really noticed how everything kept flowing from me. I said so many things to her, and I'm becoming more trusting of my own inner guidance. So I wanted to say that each morning when I wake up, I'm guided to a certain deck, and today I took the magical messages from the fairies, and the card that I pulled was marriage. But the funny thing is that later I also took the angelic presence for every day. It's in Slovene language, this deck, but the cards sometimes, they just break apart and they fell from my hands, and I look, the first card that opened in that deck was, again, it says in Slovene, but it's wedding, it's marriage. I said, okay, 2 cards bringing me that message. And at the same time, I felt really guided today to put makeup on, which is what I don't usually do. I'm meeting a friend right now, and I'm really happy to meet someone new. And was just guided to, be my goddess self, because lately there were some parts of me that were not yet expressed to the fullness. I am a mountaineer. I don't use really makeup much, and I used to be like that. I used to be very feminine. I used to put a lot of nice dresses. And today I said, you know what? I'm going to do it again. And so I went into my wardrobe. I started dressing up, and I saw, okay, this is a message for me, because literally, the marriage card can mean that you're coming into that great balance within your feminine and masculine. So both dynamics needs to be expressed within you. But one of the biggest synchronicities that occurred for me lately was when I wanted to purchase a reading from this Sister of Light, whose channel I saw on YouTube. And I was really drawn to those messages, and how her channel came to me was basically a woman that writes to me a lot sent me her message, one reading, which was totally what I needed to hear at that moment. And I thanked her. I said, wow, thank you. You totally knew what to send me. And she's like, I didn't want to send it to you. I wanted to send it to someone else. And again, I was like, okay, that's totally not a coincidence, because that is how spirit works. It's an action. It's tiny little things. Like, for instance, you're already drawn to look away, but then again, you're drawn to look back, and you see a certain message, either in writing, or someone says it, or it's in a song. And we all know how the angelic guidance works. But basically what we do, we guide ourselves, because there's this conscious observer there sitting on a shoulder, and people who become more conscious, who become more expanded in that way, they see these signs more. They just see them more. It's not like some people are guided and some are not, because some people say, well, how can I become more attuned to that guidance? This, Carolyn Miss, this wonderful lady, she says everyone has intuition. Everyone is connected to that, although intuition is not the same as guidance from your higher self, because you need to open up to that source self through these activations yourself first, because a lot of people, like I said, they're totally cut off from that awareness, from their eternal I am present. And the higher self will always bring you messages directly from your source self, directly from your I am presence, which will always be in the now moment. So whenever there's someone who might say things to you, like psychics give people messages about what's happening in the future, or they give you time references, it's not coming from the higher self. And that's the way you can recognize it. So I think the most important thing here now for all of us is to learn to listen with our hearts, not just the physical ears, because we are tuning in the energies of the new to new higher senses. Okay, we are tuning to the feeling side, which is not always just the visions or hearing something. It's a lot having to do with the feeling. And for me, sometimes this comes as deep knowing. I don't always trust it, but when I get confirmation about it, I see how really supported I am. So the funny thing about this woman doing readings was I really wanted to contact her, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos. I really wanted to contact her and pay her for a reading. But before I did that, she already contacted me. So I guess she was in tune with her guides who mentioned my name as a pioneer. And she was guided to write me a message. And then I explained what was happening in my life during that time. And she said, I'll give you a reading for free. And she made me a beautiful reading. So I would like to share her beautiful channel with all of you. The link to her channel will be below because she's awesome. She has amazing spirit channeling abilities. Of course, I always say connect to your inner guidance first, see what resonates with you. Sometimes we're all connected who are connected to spirit energies, but sometimes we don't interpret things the way we should. But my favorite guideline here is for all those of you, if you've ever seen the movie Matrix, is, you know, when Neo walks to the Oracle and he basically was the one. But that time at the beginning, she told him that he's not the one. And later, when he found out that he is the one, he asked her why did you tell me that, you know? And she said, because that is what you needed to hear at that certain time. You needed to hear that in order, you know, for the energy to be right, to propel him for a certain part of the journey. Because if he would feel that he's the one, he would feel pressured and a whole nother story would unveil. But what needed to happen was exactly what was happening. And I would like for you to really start noticing these tiny synchronicities in your life, like especially the repetitive ones. The repetitive one for me was people bringing me messages and wanting to do readings for me lately, which was a message, okay, you are opening up to others, offering you certain aspects of your new opening as well. Although for me, usually, because I'm really attuned to my own inner knowing, is I will usually just get the confirmation. But for the people who are still learning to trust themselves more and connect to their own spirit guidance, I would really recommend to just never place the power of someone else's words or guidance over their own. You know, always take only what resonates. But lately, there's just this immense abundance of synchronicity coming in. And I feel the closer we get to the vortex space of the 12-12-12 and the 21st of December in 2012, we are getting in this vortex of highly warped up energies, and we're already in them. And we see that instant manifestation can occur nowadays. So be really careful what you think about, because it just might come true. You know what they say, be careful what you wish for, because it just might come true. And like this card says, you know, listen. Really listen. You can also visualize that and intend that you want nothing but a purity of the highest spirit to flow through you and give you messages that you need to hear exactly at that certain moment. Because what I will do when I pull a card for myself, I will always say, just, you know, I want to hear, I don't even ask questions. I just say that I want to be shown by spirit what is for my highest good to hear right now and what is most beneficial for me to know right now. So basically, I wanted to share this with you because there's a massive amounts of abundance and guidance coming through right now for all those who just are open enough to see it and are ready to walk through the door. And like I said, synchronicity is basically spirit in action. And spirit is everywhere. It's all around us. And we just need to open our eyes to see it, to gently follow that guidance. And like people sometimes like to ask me personal questions, and I always say to them, you know, don't ask me personal questions. If you do, okay, I'll make a reading for you, but I cannot answer because I wouldn't even want to, and my guidance isn't working that way. I'm here to show people the way towards within when all the answers really lie. And if half of the people that write to me would check their email, what it sounds like, what it looks like, they would see that they already gave themselves the answer in that email, which is what oftentimes happens. And I'm just there holding the space, holding the presence for people to show them, to point them towards those signs and to say to them, you see what you've just done, you see you've already answered yourself. So it's kind of like a push for them to start trusting themselves a bit more and their guidance, because we're all divine. So why would you trust someone over you? And why wouldn't you notice all the beautiful synchronicities occurring lately? It's just, for me, it's amazing. I just go with the flow. I used to be a lot more restricted, you know, in certain areas, and I didn't want certain things kind of limiting, you know. But now I've just, like I said, had a major breakthrough in my awareness. I've done a lot of inner work, and it looks like it's paying off because there's immense synchronicity through everything, you know. You'll just notice it everywhere. You'll get confirmations about everything, but you need to stay here as an observant observer, not someone who'll be attached to either the outcome or how the guidance is supposed to come through. But when it comes through and you make an aha, that's when the guidance is right. That's when there's a confirmation. It feels like this warm, tingly feeling in your heart as well. That's how it can also feel. A lovely sister of light from Canada just recently said that she felt this guidance, this inner heart warmth when she wanted to give me a message for my birthday. And this is how it feels. It's just, we need to see these synchronicities and we need to trust the divine guidance coming through. So also do check the channel. I am sharing below from Beautiful Sister of Light. And if anyone will ever want to get a reading like I did, and it's just beautiful because you can get a lot of confirmation. And when we get confirmation, we feel more comfortable. And when we feel more confident in that comfortable space, we open up energetically even more. So we bring even more abundance into our life, even more synchronicity and divine flow. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.